Hat don't hang on the same nail too long. My ears can't stand to hear the same old song. I don't leave the highway long enough, box down in the mud. Got that rambling fever in my blood. Well, rambling fever kinda can't be measured by degrees. Oh, rambling fever ain't no kind of cure for my disease. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. DD Speed Shop and his long flowing curls. How you guys doing? Welcome back to Welding Wires Old Iron. You know, I've been contemplating the clutch in that old dirty dozen. I keep looking over that way because I'm looking at that truck. I've been thinking about that clutch for a while and how I was going to make that work. And you know, I could have done a hydraulic system, but I'd had to buy all the parts or procure the parts. And the way I did it is not a traditional clutch setup, but it's a rat rod setup. And I just had to figure out how to make it work. So the only money I spent was 20 bucks on a bearing, and but I had $10,000 worth of fun, man. You know, just figuring it out. That's what I like, is the challenge. You know, how am I going to make this work? And it's pretty wild setup, but it gets the job done. Okay, we might as well just get into it and see what's been happening around here. I do believe my pants are on fire. Looks like my chair's on fire. I believe my table's on fire. Oops! Hey, welcome to Rat Rodding. My name's Welding Wire, and don't ever do what we do here on this channel.
Alright, there's a keyway in there. It's like a half moon key. I think I can work with that. I'm going to cipher on that. I'm going to study on that a little bit, but I think I can work with that. Well, that's what I thought it was, but I wanted to be sure. I need a hone. Got one, but I don't think it's that big. A ream, that's what I need, a ream. Isn't that what they call that when they doing kingpins? They ream them, isn't that right? If you get the bushings to fit. Not a hone. Hone's what you use to sharpen your razor. I don't know. I don't know nothing about this stuff. I don't know much of nothing. I'm just happy in my ignorance, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Can deal with that. I don't like it. I wish I had a 1-inch bearing. I might go get one and just use a 1-inch piece of pipe. But alright, I have concluded, and I have made an executive incision, and this motor mount, or this cab mount, has to go. It's right in my way where I want to build a bracket to hold this. So I'm gonna cut it off of there. Some joker welded her in, boy. I mean, burn her in, man. So yeah, I'm gonna have to grind it off of there. But I'm gonna move it. I could put it here, but I think I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, that's some pretty thick metal in there, but I don't know. I'll get it down and look at it from the top side. There's a piece of brace that goes in there and goes up this way and lays on top of this, so it's double there, and it's not here. So I might be easier to put it back here, but I don't know. I don't really like that. It really goes out here. That's where it needs to go. Alright, now I got my table over here and my iced tea. I can work better now. Alright, I give up.
Hey, Joe.
I'm gonna make a mess, but I gotta get the plasma cutter out here. This is ridiculous. Oops.
Getting on the streets and going out through the drains and the waterways and stuff.
Yeah, boy. I mean, don't forget, the only reason the alcohol is in there is to keep the water,
Right.
which is going to work, like alcohol works.
Okay.
Well, we don't necessarily have the answers yet. But we will help you. By the giant aluminum.
Okay, where was I? Where was I when I left off? 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. Got some kind of business going on here with a grade 8 bolt and a double nut system, double nut locking system, a bearing, and yeah, all kinds of things happening right here. Don't have to be exactly perfect. It's a cab mount. Yeah, I gotta go crank up some tunes, man. I can't handle this. Silence is golden, but this is just a bit too much. Man, it's too bad about old Dusty Hill. Didn't y'all just hate to hear that? I sure did. Right there's a U-joint on the back of the transmission, okay? So, center that U-joint to the center of that U-joint would be 45.5 inches. Now, y'all don't know this, but I got something out back. I've got a treasure out there. I'm just having a silly thought right now. My brain is just doing flip-flops right now. But what I have up out there, oh, my mind's like a bad neighborhood. I should never go there alone. I have a 4-speed Brownie out of a 1958 Rio. Now, just think about that for a minute. 4-speed brownie behind this 10-speed Eaton Fuller transmission. And all I need now is a 2-speed rear end. Well, if I had that brownie in there, that would give me 20 forward gears. If I had a 2-speed rear end, it'd give me 40 forward gears. That's funny right there, ain't it? I don't care who you are, that's funny right there. So, yeah, just a thought. Just a little thought pattern just passing through my brain. I like that better. I don't need that nut on this side. Don't need it at all. Probably don't even need to double nut it on the back side. It runs out threads right there, bottoms out. That's good. And what I like about that is it allows my bearing, instead of having the bearing go on, be that far out from my, instead of having the bearing be that far out from my bracket, I can have the bearing go right up to it, and I like that. I like that a lot better. Yes, indeed. Okay. Totally unnecessary. I just wanted to make it pretty. Yeah, pretty. Oh yeah, that'll work. You know, this engine had just been sitting 1/4 of an inch higher in the frame. That's all it would have taken, 1/4 inch. It's easier to cut a little notch out of the frame than it is to lift the engine 1/4 inch. At this point, oh well, that's the way it goes sometimes. That's the way it goes. First your money, then your clothes. Well, I'm going to have to go underneath. I can't see exactly where to mark that. I'm at a place where I can stop. I can go have some dinner. It's 9:30 at night. I forgot to eat. I know I don't look like I forgot to eat ever in my life, but I did forget to eat. So, yeah, I'm gonna run a bead around this, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and drill a couple of holes in a couple of places, and do a little plug weld on there. You know, just because. So, yeah, I'm gonna go throw some chicken on the barbecue. I think it's cool enough this evening to do that. And I'm at a place where I can stop and then remember where to take off again. All right, see ya.
Always give you a false sense of confidence and self-esteem.
And he said, "Oh, okay." And I think it's bogus. There ought to be a separate designation, and it should be. It is awfully presumptuous.
Puzzler every week. The people who live lives of quiet desperation, struggling through each day, only to get to the weekend where they can work on their
Come on. Can't we all just get along? Come on. Oh, cry, cry, cry. 96 tears.
likely to happen, I did a wrong from my brother. It's most likely to happen at 35 years. Edward's the kind of guy I want to know. He didn't really care. No. If you told me you ought to at the very least check the fuses, because you could have popped.
And, you know,
Going up
country,
country, got to get away.
With that, etc. And we found ourselves in the deepest backcountry road, running up fuses. Sure enough they were, and they were generous enough to...
Oh, I'm not very good cutting freehand, but I'll give her a shot.
Being rescued were happy. You got that gas. It has nothing to do with the stroke. I'm
Established to strengthen APR's commitment to training and protecting journalists in high-risk environments.
Yes. Oh, God, yes. Okay, with this little shaft on here, this thing had ready to go. I don't know, but anyway, you could sit in here and put your foot on this thing, and you back against the back of the cab and push just as hard as you can, and boy, I mean, it's all you can do to release that clutch. Well, I am surprised, pleasantly surprised, at how easy that is to push just by hand. So with your foot on it, just, you know, with just gaining that much leverage, with your foot on it, it would be easier yet. But with a hanging pedal and a rod running from the hanging pedal to this shaft up, you know, I'll have to play around. I'll drill several holes in this and decide where this needs to be. Grab hold of that U-joint and just find out exactly how much throw it takes to release that clutch. And but with the leverage that you'll gain, even more leverage from that hanging pedal. That's the way I did it on the Rockabilly, and man, it worked out great. Just so easy, and the leverage is there. It just works. So I'm encouraged by this. You know, I'm just trial and error, but I think when I get that hanging pedal in there with the rod running from that to some position on this, I'll have to play around with the geometry a little bit of that, a little bit with the levers and fulcrums, you know, but I think it might just work. I'm encouraged, because you never know with this Archie whether it's going to work or not. Okay, I took a couple days off, so let's see where we're at here. Remove this little short lever, which didn't give you enough leverage, and I just had an idea, just in my, I could just see it in my think, of bringing the shaft over to here and putting a lever on it. And I didn't know if it'd work or not, but it does, and it actually, it's not too hard to push. I mean, with your foot you could just about do it, but it's a little stiff. So this is, I don't know what configuration this is going to take yet. I don't know what form it's going to turn into, but this was just proof of concept. But it does work. So I don't know yet. You know, this thing could make a turn here and come up, and then I could put my hanging pedal in there with a lever, and as long as I got room where it don't hit the floor. Or we could go outside with this lever and bring an elbow up and through the floor with a pedal like old Fred has out there, the old 1950 Chevy. You know how the floorboards or the pedals went down through the floor, and they were L-shaped or knee-shaped or elbow-shaped, however you want to call it. But that would be one way to do it if I was only just going to use straight pressure on this without any other levers. But I think what I'm going to do is put a hanging pedal in. I did that on the Rockabilly. It had the shaft to come off the transmission, had both pedals on it, the brake and the clutch. The brake pivoted on that clutch shaft, and then the clutch was directly attached to the shaft to the work throw-out bearing. And so I just left both of those, cut the pedals off, and then I put hanging pedals and ran some rods down to those, and man, that worked out just great. But this is all different configuration here. That worked out where the pedals, or the original levers, were outside of the cab. They weren't in the cab, and the rods ran down to them, and that works. But like I said, I didn't know if this would work at all. Anyway, I think the next step is to put the shifter back in this thing and put it in gear, release this and turn the throw-out bearing, or excuse me, release the throw-out bearing and turn the U-joint on the back of the transmission, and see just how much throw it actually takes to release that throw-out bearing. and then go from there. Then we'll decide what kind of configuration this is going to take. What kind of shape shifting is going to have to go on here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to pull this plate. It's been so stinking hot out here in the daytime. You just can't work. It's just now midnight, and I just got out here, so it's cool enough to work now. So I guess I'm working the graveyard shift tonight. But anyway, that's the next step. Panel, put the shifter back in, put the thing in gear, and I may have to, I don't know where that shifter is going to live. I mean, I may have to bend it. It may hit the dash when you go into first or whatever gears forward. So I may have to make an adjustment on that, but that's no big deal. Anyway, I can put it in there. I'm sure it'll set in there for now in such a way that I can put this thing in gear and determine how much throw is needed on that bearing to release the clutch. So that's what I'm going to do.
You're not taking it too far.
Are you a trucker?
Yep.
Really? Over the road?
And if there it is, if it is Cubans again, any chance a few of them would fall off your truck?
Don't even suggest it.
You drain out half the motor, because if it doesn't work, then you have to rebuild the engine. Right.
Man, that's the title of a book if I ever heard
There you go.
it. See you later.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
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 Far is about a day and a half.
Oh, okay. Man, that only has to move. Wow, that much. I don't have to move hardly. Oh, okay. Oh man, I had nightmares about that. I was afraid those dual clutches were bound up, or that intermediate plate was bound up or something. Yeah, that has to move like 1/8 of an inch. That's cool. Okay, now I know where I can position this. Up near how close I can get to the floorboard, how much I can get it out of the way. This is not the final draft. I will probably do something a little different than that. But it's strong enough. It needs to be welded solid. Probably put a gusset in here up from that shaft up a ways. Well, I guess you can't see what I'm pointing at. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. All right, let me get over there. So yeah, position this where it needed to be, and I thought it wasn't releasing because I couldn't turn that shaft by hand, and then I got thinking, duh, you dummy. Of course you can't turn all that by hand. But when I put that pry bar in there, man, it was easy. It just took a little bit. I will reposition this, get it up close to the floor. Had it there once, but I thought I wasn't releasing. Now I know I am. Then I can put a gusset in here, strengthen that up, and that won't go anywhere. This is the original hanging pedal out of that 66 1-ton, 66 GMC 1-ton, and I'm going to attempt to use half of this. Well, I'll just take the brake pedal out, and I want to keep the strength in the structure, but I'll remove the brake pedal, and I'm going to try and use this hanging clutch and run from one of these holes to that shaft that you just saw, and modify this so that it fits between the firewall and the cab. I don't know what that's going to entail, but boy, I'm going to find out. I'm going to do some measuring and some ciphering and some geometry in, and see if I can figure out how to get this monstrosity up under the dash. First thing I'm going to do is cut that brake pedal off. Man, sometimes, not very often, but sometimes the fella's planets are just lined up. Your chi is just ever so. I got under the dash and measured from the firewall to the back of the dash, and it's 13.5 inches. Check this out. See what that says? It says 13.5 inches. So what I'm thinking is that I'll cut these ears off and weld a little plate onto there. You know, something like under that. Drill some holes in it and bolt it into the dash. Actually, I could bolt it up to the dash. I might save these and weld them back on, reposition them. I don't know. I'll figure something out. You know I will. Time for the wheel of death. I usually have a guard on this thing. I took it off to get into a tight place or something. These things kind of scare me. I'll probably put the guard back on it. I watch old Bad Chad go down. Hey man, he's good. He's good with that. Guess he hadn't cut himself yet. I think D. Dan uses it that way too, without a guard. I'm kind of chicken because I know me. All right, I'm gonna slide this under there and give her a test fit. I kind of like that somebody scabbed an end on foot. You know, they had to lengthen it, and I don't know why, but they did. And I like that it's got this adjustable part on it. I don't like that this is all wore out. You see how that's all? I don't know. I can't see in this camera. The screen doesn't show all the time, but anyway, it's pretty wore down. I think what I'm going to do is use this on here, and just that way I can make it whatever length I need it and still have some adjustment on this end. I don't think I need, 7 inches of adjustment. I think what this one has will be enough. So yeah, that way I don't have to deal with this. I'll just find the appropriate place and bend this and drill it, put a washer and a cotter pin on it, and we'll call her good. Okay, it has been many hours, several gallons of iced tea, and a lot of trial and error. I think I finally come up with a situation that's going to work out. Trial and error, yeah, over and over. At one point I thought I needed a dog leg in this thing, and I attempted that, and that turns out that's not what I needed. What it needed was this shaft here. This little shaft that goes between the two just needed to be shortened up. And right about now, there are YouTubers all across the United States and in several foreign countries. They're just losing their ever-loving mind right now because, this is not the right way to do it, but it's done and it works. Problem was with that other rod in there, the pedal stuck up so far that you had to lift your foot way up. There's a spring now that'll hold that in place, but you had to lift your foot way up to get on the pedal, and that wasn't good. And right where it is now is very comfortable, and it's so easy to push, and that's all it takes right there to release those clutches. That's all it takes. So, I've told everybody from the beginning, I'm not a car builder, I'm not a mechanic, and I'm certainly not an engineer. But I've just got enough want to and stick-to-itiveness to get her done. So it works. And I know it's a little unorthodox, but okay, I'm gonna set this camera up over there and show you how this thing works. Okay, I believe where I've got the camera set up right now, you'll be able to see that drive shaft. I'll get another light in here on it so you can see that thing turning. And I think you can see the drive shaft, or not the drive shaft, the U-joint. I think you can see the U-joint and the clutch pedal at the same time. I'm tired. I worked out here till about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I got up at 5 this morning, and it's 2:30 now, and I haven't had a nap or anything, so I'm kind of stumbling over my words, and that's not really anything unusual for me, but yeah, I got to get this shut down because I'm running out of steam. All right, let's do it. Oh man, look at all that leg room. My leg is completely stretched out there. I have a throttle here and a little brake over here and something like that. I'll figure it out. But for right now, let's just see this clutch working. Okay.
Okay, fellas, that's going to do it for this time, but tune in next time and hear old Waylon say,
Okay, let's massacre that drive shaft.
but until then, you know the deal. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.